All right, guys, welcome to episode 90, the Dirty Disco Recap. So, before we get into the recap, just some housekeeping stuff. Remember, we're giving away a free entry to Open Range. This is the last week to get your comments in, get entered in. Just leave a comment on Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. I'll see it. I'll grab your name, and then we'll get it all squared away for next week. And then the second part of that is getting some subscribers. We're so close, guys.
Oh my gosh, we had a push.
We had a push, guys.
A huge push.
The Wichita crowd came through,
and
they're clutch. I tell you what, man.
I'm starting to think the Wichita crowd, they come through more than the Emporia crowd right now, and that, even more than the KC crowd. So there's a little competition going here now.
Right. So I can't thank you guys enough. Again, seeing all you guys at the event this weekend. I know it was cold and we were all bundled up, but it was great just catching up with you guys and just seeing everybody out there again. So could have wished for a little bit better weather, but it's the Midwest and
it's March.
In March, so.
Did you see some of the pictures from the start line?
I did.
Like everybody's all bundled up, and I just get this thing going. And how about the dude playing Star Spangled Banner on the electric guitar?
Oh, dude,
right? We were kind of talking with him before, and he's like, "This thing, like it's like already out of tune." But it sounded
he's trying
great.
to keep his hands warm.
Oh my gosh, yeah. He had the hardest job of the day. I'm convinced.
Did for sure.
No, that was a good time. It's really, really good.
So good. Well, let's get down into it. We'll start with the 100. I was coming in with a little bit of a head cold.
You did.
I still kind of sound like crap, but
you do a little bit. I mean, but not any different than normal.
Yeah, exactly.
but no, all kidding aside. I mean, you stopped by the house at what, like 4:30 on Saturday morning, and I could tell within 5 minutes of getting out of the driveway, like you were not 100%.
Yeah,
and that's tough because we've all been there. But fortunately, it was just a head cold. I don't think it was too much more than that. It doesn't look like it's turned into anything since then either. So that's good.
Yeah.
But,
so again, my feeling is it was in my head. It was sinus stuff. So. It did alter my plan for the day. I did want to put in a good 20-minute effort.
I know you were getting heckled out there too.
Tyler came by and heckled me. Thanks, Tyler. I wish I was feeling good enough to put in effort, but it was one of those days where it's like, I better play the smart card and keep it all controlled. Yeah. And so that's what I did, and it worked out great for me. Let's start it off.
Well, yeah. So the overwhelming tactic and the eyes on the day were #BaitTravis.
Yes.
But so as the race got started, right? It's like a 3-mile rollout. I want to say it was a long rollout.
It was, and that was the coldest I was.
Oh my gosh! It's like of all the times for a rollout to be that long. Like that's the one where you wanted to be like a 100-yard rollout and let's just get going.
Right.
Credit to everybody there because the rollout was super relaxed. It was kind of nice. Like nobody was really interested in pushing up the road and trying to get crazy out of the gate. And then even after we got onto gravel, it just seemed like
I think everybody was like, we're not going to attack into a full-on headwind.
Yeah.
We might as well just
stay together,
and work. And it seems like that was the kind of the thinking for the whole day for about 20 miles or so.
Yeah. I want to say like the first 10 miles, it was pretty tame, and then it started to get a little rolling uphill on the course, and I think the rotations were going pretty well. There was definitely a chunk of the group that was not interested in coming to the front, and that's fine. I mean, you get it. But at some point in there, I think you rolled off of a pole, and then I took over, and I just pushed it a little bit. I wasn't trying to break the group up or anything, but I did want to push it a little bit because it felt like we were just like, I don't want to be out here all day, if I could help it. But at the same time, you really wanted to keep a group together as much as we could. And when I
you wanted, I think you had the right tactic too, and the group did, like, you kind of wanted get the people that were motivated to work together.
Exactly.
And that's what I think.
And it kind of backfired on me, because after I rolled off my pole, it seemed like the front of the group just started surge on the hills. They're really surging the hills pretty hard, and that's fine. It's a race.
Yeah, they're also lighter than I am.
Sure.
So.
And that's fine. Yeah. But I rolled back. You rolled off. I rolled off shortly after you, and then got to the back of the line, and there was a huge gap, and I didn't know where you were. And I think at that point, by the time you had gotten to the back of the line, the surging had kind of started happening, and you decided it was past where you were.
Yeah, because they were hitting. For me, it was hitting threshold on every surge, which isn't a big deal, but for the goals for the day, it was.
See, I was hoping you would hang
on. My coach would have not been happy, and my coach is me, so right. I would not been happy with myself to again just. Yes, I definitely could have participated more and stayed with the group more, sure. But for me, it was like that wasn't what the goal.
Not what the day was.
The day was. I would probably, turn myself inside out to stay with them and continue on, but. It was a C race for me. So it was just about just getting the time in the saddle and not getting baited into racing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
I got to give you a lot of credit. I really thought you were going to just take off, at least at some point in the first 50 miles and just kind of cut into it. You never really did, at least not in the first 50. So the group kind of broke up. I want to say about 15 miles in the front of the group.
Yeah, I would say probably about mile 20 or so.
Yeah.
Once the sections where it started going with a little bit of a cross tailwind.
Yeah.
That's when I think people were pushing a little bit more to kind of create that space. Mm-hmm. And then that front group. I think there was like maybe
4 or 5 of them.
4 or 5 of them that probably stay together to the end. You can look at the times. The winner won by a handful of minutes, and then then it was a couple minutes, and then 2 people would come back and a couple of minutes back and forth. So it was kind of just they pretty much stayed together, I think, the whole way.
I have to say though, even though you had a headwind for most of the first 40 miles, the gravel was so smooth. It was such pristine condition, especially given all the fear of the rain, in the area throughout the week, and then the threat of having to reroute and everything else. I mean, there was, I want to say, one MMR section in that first 50 miles that it was really, really just awesome. Gravel.
I thought it was going to be way worse than it was.
Yeah,
and I guess since they kind of missed out on the rain, and so it had a little chance to dry a little bit more, and it was totally fine.
Yeah. So like I said, we got all the way up to that mile 40 where you make that turn, and once you got that cross tailwind, man, was that relief or what? Like, holy smokes! Like, we never, ever since open range, we don't complain about headwinds anymore, and I was definitely not complaining. It was not a horrible headwind; it was just there. It was present.
Yeah.
But man, when you made that turn and you got that little cross tailwind, it just felt like you're just like a new set of legs.
Yep.
Everything just kind of felt good. And somewhere in there, the 50-mile racers kind of caught up to us. And I think you were probably at that point. I think you dropped back maybe a few hundred yards from me. It wasn't, you were in eyesight of me for sure.
Yeah. So like right before that happened, I caught back up to you, and we were going into that block headwind, and I caught a rut, and I basically just whipped myself into the ground.
Nice.
And just, smashed myself. Luckily, there was just me, and, and
thought we got this out of the system, though.
I thought I did too. And, so after that, I was just kind of like, well, I'll just, I'm not going to, chase Danny too hard. I'll put in efforts when I can. But, and just like, really soon after that, the 50 milers caught up to us.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, what's going on, guys?
So it was funny. There was somebody I was riding with, and then we worked together for a few miles in there. And I knew you were back there. I didn't know how far back you were, and I wasn't trying to drop you by any means. I mean, we had said all along the goal of the day was to survive the day and just keep a nice steady effort. So that's really all I cared about. But I did push a couple of spots. one right when we got that tailwind. But when we made that turn, I looked back and I didn't see you, but I couldn't see. I know you were there, but I didn't see you. But I could hear people, and I saw like the pack. You know what I mean? I couldn't make anybody out, but I saw the pack. I'm like, son of a bitch, Travis is right there. Like I know he's got to be further back than that. Like how is he right there? Like come on, you know. And so it was kind of in my head a little bit for a second, even though I really was not trying to drop you there. And then
right? He wasn't trying to drop me
there. So then the 50 mile leaders come through. And Tyler was in that group, and I said, hey, is Travis back? He said, yeah, he's like 100 yards behind you. I'm like, what the hell? He says, yeah, he says, hey, I'll pace you. You jump on here. It's like, no, I'm good. And thank goodness I didn't, because like I swear not more than 50 feet. I had a turn coming up. Yeah. And I thought we all turned together. No, they went straight, 100 milers turned left, and I'm so glad I didn't follow. I almost did. And back into the head when you go. But in any case, I knew you were back there, but I didn't know how far back. But yeah, you took that spill, and I didn't know, of course.
No. I mean, you couldn't know. I could have screamed my loudest.
No, right.
It was so loud.
Right.
It was just one of those things that we were just riding along, and then I went to just kind of like position a little bit, and then the wheel fell into a rut, and then just kind of ditched me. And, luckily, I didn't put my hand out or anything, but my shoulder and my knee took the brunt of it, and I kind of whipped my head a little bit. I didn't crack my helmet or anything, but I did see a little bit of stars when
I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
Yeah,
that you had to keep that part quiet.
Yeah, so we'll see if the wife listens. Hopefully,
see if Travis shows up to the next race.
Yeah, she just kind of fast forwards through this part.
Right. So, in any case, pretty uneventful otherwise. Straightforward riding, but it was, again, beautiful gravel out there. There's one MMR section that I mentioned, and there's a big mud pit in it. And I saw a couple riders before me go through, so I knew where the line was. You could see the wheel tracks, but you get into it, and there's like a rut down in there. Just as you're coming out of it, there's a rut, and my front wheel went right into it. I thought it was going to be one of those, like, you hit it, and then you go ass over the handlebars, you know? So I was expecting that, but thank goodness I didn't flip. But other than that little section right there, again, beautiful gravel, nice fast pace. Yeah. Other than the headwind, and then 50-mile stop just outside of Cassidy, right? Yep. And I got there. Got through my bottles and everything, and then you came rolling in. So from that point, I think we just decided, hey, let's just roll this thing together, the back half, and then again, theme of the day, right? Great gravel. We had a nice long downhill, and I remember someone like, hey, I think I've climbed this hill before. I
definitely picked up part of my soul, because I remember climbing the hill that we went down like a couple of years ago at Unbound, and I'm like, I've been on this hill. I was like, what the heck? I know this place.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the gravel, the route couldn't have been any better. And again, when I was talking about, like, you know, the plan for the day for me was just to keep it at 0.7 intensity factor, just a little bit endurance pace, a little high endurance pace going the whole day, and basically, you know, as far as that goes, you know, I'd check that box off.
Yeah. No question. On that back half, so my goal, so I have not had the bike volume at this point in the year that I've had probably in previous years, maybe even less volume than I had last year. But I think the strength block has been huge, because my goal was much like yours, just hold a consistent pace, just kind of see what the day brings and survive the day. I was going to be happy just getting through I would figure if I get through 80, 85 miles before I kind of really start to fall apart, that'd be a good day for me, right? And I almost made it. It was about mile 75, somewhere in that, where we were making the climb out of the that downhill section, and I want to say it was, about mile 75, and I just started not feeling great at all. And it wasn't like nutrition was fine. That was the other goal of the day: nutrition, and I was all over it. But the body was just, you could tell, like, you know how it is when you just haven't had enough saddle time.
Yeah, like all the periphery stuff is sore. Like your arms are sore from holding you up, your neck's sore from holding your head up.
Core is sore, like everything was sore.
Like, but the legs are not, you know, my legs weren't sore. I was still, you know, we almost caught up to like the 8th place rider. but I could see him in the distance, and
Yeah.
I was like, any other day I'd probably like chase him down, but
Yeah.
I just wasn't about doing that.
Yeah. I think yeah, I mean, you could see taillights up ahead, so we weren't very far off of
No.
even really very far off from 6th and 7th place, if I remember right. So yeah, again, but you could just tell, like, from like mile 75 on, like every little roller just less comfortable than the one before, and it just kind of felt like I was at the end right there. It just was not great. I'm going to chalk that up to just time on the bike. I'm not worried about that at all going ahead. I mean, I think I got the build coming up. I'll be spending plenty of hours on the bike here in the next 8 weeks, and all in all, I have to say it's pretty great event. But we had a little drama. Yeah. A little drama at the end. So there was some lead up to the drama, though.
Yeah. So when we were riding back, and I was just like, well, I'm just going to pace it. So if you want to go on ahead, you can. And you're like, no, I'm just going to do the same thing. And
I'll just ride it with you.
I was like, okay. I was like, well, do you want to like sprint at the end, or do you want to like? And I was like, do you want to do the little heart thing where we like both go across the line and have a little heart thing? And you said, well, I think after the climb, we'll.
I said, just ask me after the climb, because I wasn't sure how I was going to feel after that. So.
And as much complaining as this guy did after the climb about, how sore he was and how this. So then I'm like, all right. So I'm just kind of like just cruising back with Danny, not trying to drop him, just going.
But you did. You left me for dead. You were like 100 yards up the road a couple of times. I wasn't sure I was going to make it back.
Yeah.
No, I was not feeling great in the last 10 miles, especially 12 miles or so, 15. I kept looking for the downhill. Like the profile kept showing a downhill. I'm like, where's this downhill?
We were going into another block headwind, so it's just like there was no
relief. I was ready to be off the bike at that point. And you were a few hundred yards ahead of me at one point. And by the way, so here's the other thing. I was fighting, just, since we're talking about excuses and all. I was dealing with brand new water bottles that were like a death grip on my bottles. Like I had to use two hands.
The best part was like watching Danny try to struggle to get these water bottles out. Good thing he was lifting weights, because they were like stuck in there.
They were, man. I was like two hands trying to rip them out of the cages, and so a couple of times I fell off just because I had to
I had to slow up.
Almost had to stop and get off my bike so I could take the bottle out to get a drink. And then the other part was I was having some equipment issues with my chamois. Not my chamois, but my bibs. And it was, you know how it is, no new equipment on race day. And I've ridden these before, but they're long. Because with the weather being so cold, I just opted not to do the leg warmers. I was like, I'm just wearing the full length.
Yep. And
that was a poor choice. I'm just going to leave it at that. It was a poor choice. It was not a pleasant ride for the last 30 miles or so.
No.
But you know how it is when you get to the finish line, right? Like we come down that hill by the dam, and we were riding side by side, and you could see the finish line. You had to kind of make these couple of turns. You could see the finish line; it was right there. And and I remember our conversation from earlier, and I started feeling good.
Yeah. So then Danny starts to perk up a little bit, and we make the final turn, and I hear click, 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 and I'm like, oh, come on! And he starts to take off, and so then I try to match it. I hold the button down, and then of course, I'm new to electronic shifting, which is basically cheating. Like, I mean, all y'all that use electronic shifting, it's cheating, because it's just
so crisp.
You just push the button and it just does it.
That's right.
Pushed the button and actually held it. So it went a little too hard for me. So I had to stand up, and Danny was already sprinting his way to the finish. And so at the end I pulled him all the way in, and he pipped me at the line, which is totally fine. I gave it my best, but
best wasn't good enough.
Good enough that day.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I just, I was worried the whole way home. I was like, I felt bad because your shoulder had been sore the whole day. You hit your head, you had a head cold, you were dealing with it. And then I was like, well, nothing like pouring a little salt in the wound with a finish line sprint. just to go ahead and finish you off.
Yeah.
But really, I just wanted to see if my workouts had been doing anything.
No,
for me,
and that sprint was really good. You launched it, probably right at the right spot.
I kept waiting for you to take off. I really thought you were going to be the one to do it.
I
was ready to
My
react.
plan was to get behind you and then
Try to draft to get
and then
around.
draft around and get up to speed and then draft around, because I have the higher raw watts.
Yeah.
So at the very end,
Yeah.
with that slight downhill into
Yeah.
the finish, I figured I had a better chance. That was the plan.
That was the plan.
That was not how it worked out. I shifted too much, and by the time I could get behind you, I was not up to speed. I was falling off.
The thing is I've had this little problem with sprinting since a couple years ago at Open Range, when I lost a group sprint or a bunch sprint at the end. And, it's never been really an issue of generating the power. It's more the timing and being able to hold it long enough to get to the line. And so it's one of those things that kind of haunted me for a couple of years, and put a little bit of work in on it. It's always fun for me to do. I love doing it. But, when you gave me the chance to sprint, I'm like, yeah, I'll take the sprint. I wasn't going to tip the hand too early, though.
No.
But high drama at the line.
Yeah, it was good. I was laughing the whole time. I thought it was great. So, So if you're in the pack with Danny at the line, good luck, guys. Good luck.
Well, hang on. No, you said you were smiling the whole time, but I seem to remember you saying something like, "Well, we'll see who gets a pole to the line next time."
Yeah, exactly. Now I know the strategy.
Hey, it's thing about racing is it's not who's fastest, it's who uses the least energy.
Yeah.
Right? So
and who again,
it's just fun. It's good
fun.
times.
Yep.
Good times. But do you want to talk about the 50 doll? Because I know there was some of our friends did the 50 and had some great results there.
Yeah, I didn't. I know Courtney.
Yeah.
Won, right, and then
Won Masters. Yeah.
Yep, and then Paulina was there too.
Yeah.
On the podium, I saw the podium pictures.
Yeah.
I don't know where Tyler finished. I would imagine he finished probably pretty well because he was with that group. So.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. I think so. Tyler finished 4th overall.
Yeah. So that sounds about right.
Yeah, and I tell you, I mean, it was just great. I mean, I know everybody. This is the first race of the season for almost everybody out there, and who knows who's doing what, but.
Yeah, and
I was
a lot
not
of people
surprised. Yeah.
that I talked to that were doing the 50, they were doing basically as kind of a tune-up for Mid-South that's happening this weekend. So looks like it's going to be some pretty decent weather down there.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit warm, not too muddy, hopefully.
Yeah.
And I'll be looking at the results on that to see how everybody does. So.
Well, race season is here. That's the best part of it. And I'll say, anybody that's looking for a great early season event and you're just trying to figure out, hey, where am I going to get some real race experience? 30 Disco.
Yep.
Get there.
And the riding is just great out there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the gravel is good.
You get a little bit of it all. You get a little taste of the Flint Hills with some of that section that we talked about with the hill that we climbed and all that kind of stuff around Cassaday. But you get a lot of that kind of rolling, very fast gravel that a lot of people don't really associate that with the Flint Hills, and everybody thinks Kansas is flat, and it's anything but flat. It's a very, very nice mellow rolling course, and great place to train for sure. So you all that are out there in the El Dorado, Wichita area, you're pretty lucky. So it's a good deal.
It's good.
So like you said, you got Mid-South coming up, and then next thing you know, we're going to be getting ready for Flint Hills.
Yeah.
And just in about a month, right?
Yeah, so. About a month out. So it's good to just get out there, get the distance.
Yeah.
Tweak some stuff.
That's for sure.
Everything else was kind of good.
I asked you something on the way home. I don't know if you had more chance to put some more thought into it. What's something in your training from the last, say, 6 weeks or so that really paid off for this event?
Yeah, I was thinking about that too on kind of this weekend, and I can't say it's just one thing. I think it's a culmination of the changes that I've made.
Yeah.
Especially with the strength work. I don't think with the ride volume that I've been doing without strength, I probably would have fallen off around mile 60 for sure.
Yeah.
Just due to the, fact that the muscles just aren't there yet.
Yeah.
But since I work on all that stuff, it's a lot better. The swimming,
that's been huge for you.
It's huge. Yeah. It's, I look at it as basically an extra, like 3 hours a week, that I swim at Masters. Plus I also teach swimming. So I swim with the higher level kids. And so that's, endurance type stuff too. So like, we're talking about an extra, probably 4 hours, 5 hours of just in straight endurance work a week. That's not on the bike.
Yeah. And then all that adds up, right? And and the best part is it's not bike specific work. So you're not burning out like on the mental side of riding the bike so many hours and so many miles.
Yes.
It just shows there's so many different ways to go about this. And I thought about the same question just from my own side. I talked about the strength training a lot, and that's been a huge focus of what I've done this last 6 weeks or so. And I would say I'll go just a little bit deeper than just saying strength training. I think there's one thing that strength training does that probably doesn't get all the credit. A lot of people think, oh, strength training so I can put more muscle on and get stronger to put more watts out, and that's all true. But I think what's really connected for me is more of the neuromuscular connection. Mm-hmm. And somewhere in that mile 50 to 75 range, right before I started to fall off, and even after I fell off a little bit, I noticed my body position had a huge impact on my ability to sustain the watts that I wanted to put out. Yep. And I was finding myself in a better hinge position on the bike where I was able to recruit the muscles that I don't even remember feeling a year ago. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yep. And I think even after when I started noticing my body was just falling apart at mile 75, aching and saddle soreness and everything, that's all the time, the volume problem. But if I just found myself getting back into a good base position, I'll call it more like a fundamental base position on the bike, I could recruit the muscles to get the power I needed. It was not an endurance problem, which just floors me because I haven't really ridden a lot of long rides. So to me, nothing indicates an endurance base problem given I have had little volume, but the strength is there. The muscular connection is there. Now I'm really excited because now the volume's gonna start picking up. Now I'm really excited to see where it goes next.
Yeah, that muscle recruitment plays a big role because if you can recruit more muscle to turn the pedals, then you're saving all of that muscle.
Right. You don't have to put out that. You don't have to put out more power with less muscle.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you're putting out the your regular more power
more muscle.
with more muscle,
right.
And it's just being spread a little bit thicker. So it's like you can last longer, which is what you kind of want from a good training block. So I don't think it's one thing. I think it's a couple of things of just making sure that I was really consistent in February, and then just continuing to do that as much as possible.
For sure. You ready for some rapid fire?
Yeah.
All right. So we got a little rapid fire here, and then ChatGPT's been a little interesting the last few times. I mean, we had a couple of weeks where it was kind of a dud, so we just kind of axed it from the episode, and that's okay. This week it's almost like it was at the race. It's really weird.
Yeah, the AI was listening on our phones.
Yeah, I don't know how this happened, but this is rapid fire, and it titles the rapid fire as the sprint that didn't happen. And I'm trying to figure out why. I don't know, but here's the first question. It's and this is ChatGPT, not me, right? So don't get upset with me. But it says, you lost the final sprint. Are your legs gone or your tactics gone?
Tactics.
Okay. So did
because I in that last sprint I produced like my highest power.
I was gonna say
I produced like 900 watts. That's how bad I misshift. I was standing on the pedals trying to get them to turn over. It was just ridiculous. So it just I couldn't get it spun up. So that was just tactics issue.
It's almost like you're answering the next question. Did someone else beat you, or did your own race pace or your own pacing beat you?
Somebody else beat me. Beat me straight up.
Did the loss expose something? Why is it doing this? Did the loss This is wild, man. This is really brutal. I hope it never turns around on me like this. Did that loss expose something in your training?
No. It didn't. It just exposed that, this will be the last time that Danny ever gets pulled to the line by me, unless he's feeling really good and he's going to go for the win.
Yeah. So what's worse, getting dropped earlier in the race or losing it in the final 200 meters?
I would say probably getting dropped earlier in the race.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if your goal is just to hold consistent power, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, because then it's just I have to hold consistent power by myself, and it's just like I would rather just have worked less in the group, because you only have to worry about your time on the front. But just.
So the final question, is this a fitness problem, a racecraft problem, or a Travis problem?
Racecraft, yeah.
Racecraft, I should have dropped that.
Yeah.
Son of a, yeah.
It could be a me problem too, but it won't happen again. That's for sure.
I feel like there's a little setup now for the rest of the season. I feel like you're going to be racing me pretty hard from here on out. You're not going to.
Got to set the tone, Danny.
Yeah. Well, I felt like I did. I felt like I did set the tone. I thought
all right. All right. I just said, all right. You just want to go. That's all right. That's all right.
It's all in good fun.
Yeah. It's good we have a couple actual like B and A races coming up.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. There's not too many C races left.
So
no. Now it's just on if whoever wins now.
Yeah, that's right. Oh man. Well, it was good fun. I have to enjoy it because it's probably the only time this year I'll actually finish ahead of you on the line. So.
Oh no, you'll do good. Your short power has always been something that is a strength.
Yeah.
And I think you didn't have the faith in it last year. And
right.
I think this year you're beginning to
enjoy it a little bit. And
you're beginning to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna put on my Morpheus glasses.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's beginning to believe. So I'm super stoked for you. I think this year if I do win, it's going to be a hard fought one. It won't be one where I'm gifted it. For sure.
The one thing is, and this is where we do have a little fun, is we if you could package up both of our strengths, we'd have one hell of a strong rider. Because,
exactly.
You've got the diesel engine strength that you could have. And all kidding aside, you could have very easily dropped me in the last 50 miles. And I was just I like to play through these scenarios afterwards. Not that I would do anything different, but. So I think I waited for you at the aid station probably a total of 3 minutes, maybe somewhere in that, less than 5.
Yeah, and again, if you would have went out and went on your own after the aid station, I might have put a concerned effort to try to pace back to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Well, that's where I was going. Is I think if I had done that and just knowing how I started to feel towards the end. 99% chance you would have caught me, and then if you really wanted to, you just would have went right on by, right? So I mean that's why it's just kind of funny. It's like I said, my goal was not so much to say, hey, can I finish the race at the same pace that I start the race? My goal was, can I pace the first half of the race consistently? Which, by the way, my 3 hour power was blew me away, from where I expected it to be, just because I know how the training's been up to this point. So I was already happy with the day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you kind of, once you sort of feel the win of the day, it's like, okay, the back half of the race, it's a lot easier to let distractions kind of come in. And when I started feeling like garbage, I was like, yeah, okay. C race, you know how it is. You just kind of start to dismiss things. But you're right. I think if this is a B race, or when we do have an upcoming B race, the racing is going to be interesting because, and we've talked about doing teammate tactics and trying to work to get each other, whoever has the better day to get to a high finish point. And that very likely will be the default strategy. But if it turns into just a straight up race between the two of us, like it's gonna be real interesting because I could probably get a 10-minute lead at a midway point of a 100-mile race and watch it evaporate in the second half of the race, no matter how strong I think I am on that day. So that's why I think it's just a lot of fun. And
well, I mean, and you know, and to look at, you know, my training stuff, you know, I was, you know, from my normalized power and my average power, I was only off by 10 15
you were
watts.
super consistent
the whole day, just holding constant power. I wanted my average power to be, I would say like 10 watts higher for the overall. But again, I started slacking towards the end because like you were slacking and I was slacking and
we both
just my upper
done.
Back was just, you know, just the neck soreness, the in between the shoulder blades, just that muscle hasn't, you know, been worked. I don't know how to work that other than just ride the bike.
So the time in the saddle.
So but yeah, I'm super excited with the fitness, the way everything's coming around, and I am looking forward to some actual racing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's going to be fun. Like I said, less than a month away from the first B race of the year.
Yep. So Flint Hills, man. I'm looking forward to that.
Can't wait.
Doing the 80 mile.
I know. It's like last year we did the adventure thing. We kind of lost track of which one was the top tier for the points, the Great Plains Gravel Cup points, and we ended up doing the adventure because it just sounded like a more fun, and it was a great time.
Yeah, it was super fun. I had a great time.
Yeah, I would almost say, hey, let's go do it again, but I'm really looking forward to an 80-mile event this year. So yeah, it'll be fun. So cool. All right, well, we got to make sure people get the comments out here and
get the comments,
get
some other people to subscribe, new subscribers, get some of your friends to subscribe. Again, it helps us out. It helps, you know, especially on YouTube. So get them to subscribe on YouTube.
Yep.
We got some great things coming this season. So stay tuned. And thanks for everybody's support. Love talking to everybody and meeting everybody. You know, new friends, old friends.
Absolutely.
The Wichita crew. You guys just freaking crush it every single time.
Awesome people out that way.
So it'll be great to see you guys at Flint Hills.
All right.
All right.